Hey, how are you? It's Lori again. I want to say good afternoon on this very windy Thursday evening on my YouTube channel, always coming at you with a message, with content. And I really want to come at you with more on anxiety and depression. And here is Sheba Baby, who is joining us. Maybe she can give us a little word from what it is that I went through. Um, she saw what I went through, and I know that she was very scared. You could sense that she was very unsettled, and it's a privilege and an honor to come before you on my experience on this thing called anxiety and depression. So, I really want to emphasize one very important thing. Don't go through it alone, okay? Um, do your very best to find a good priest, pastor, therapist, psychologist, and psychiatrist. I mean, with insurance cost and everything else, I believe that there's free resources out there so that you can learn how to come before someone and actually look within yourself and speak what's going on, because it's like if you hold all of that in, then you're really going to somehow, in what way or another, you're gonna it's gonna come out in some way. Maybe you're gonna wanna, binge. Maybe you're gonna wanna go out on dating sites. Maybe you're going to be a couch potato. It's gonna come out in something. I really want to make that clear. And so work with your therapist, work with your psychiatrist, and that's important. I really want to dig that in you. I know that I sound like a broken record. It really rather sounds redundant. And some of the things that I went through, my darkest time, this past summer, was on a daily basis. I always had a panic attack, and I always had a depression attack. I mean, if there's such a thing. I remember one day, I believe this was back in July, or somewhere around there, where I drove to my doctor's office, and it wasn't too far. It wasn't even too far of a drive, but yet I drove there. Oh my goodness, it was utter hell from the point that I left in my car and got to the office. And when I had exited the office, I mean, it was something that I had never experienced before. I mean, I had never experienced anxiety and depression in this form. Um, I go into the office and I check in, and when I go to sit down and wait in the waiting area, um, they kind of took a little while for the nurse to call me back. I don't know what the issue was, but as I'm sitting there, I went through an all out episode, and I was so frantic, so much so that I couldn't even continue with the appointment with the doctor. So I go about to the front desk, and I tell them, you know what, I can't continue. I'm really going through an episode right now. I just want to go back home. And so they said, no, you should wait for to see the doctor. All in all, I do want to finish telling you that I didn't succeed in seeing the doctor that day. And I drove home in a panic, in a frantic, and it's like, I mean, I literally almost needed to go to the doctor's office. Now, for myself, I really want to tell you that I'm doing my own research, and I'm taking my own supplements, obviously, and they do work, by the way. Um, so at some point, they do work. But I do have some form of cellular damage. because it's like when you've experienced something like that, that means something in the body is happening physically. And anything can be about, it could be Hashimoto's, it could be MS, it can be um, it could be whatever autoimmune condition that you're going through. See, the thing is that when it comes to this thing called anxiety and depression, it's actually um, a domino effect, or what's the word that I'm trying to use? Something else is happening within the body, and it can either be leaky gut, it can be adrenal fatigue, or it could be Hashimoto's. I really can't stop for myself to dig deep as to what's happening. And so the reason I came out with my YouTube channel is to actually come forth, with that experience and what it is that I'm doing on a daily basis. Now, just because I'm here at home, before my YouTube channel, before you, doesn't give me the right to say that I have time. No, I don't. It's a process in order for me to do things in the little. Um, as as to before, I had a full-time job. I was, more or less, out and about. But one thing that I am glad about going through all of this is this: building this thing called resilience. And I'll be doing more on this thing called resilience to those of you that are going through this. There is a way that you can bring virtue, resilience, um, and overcome your struggles. I mean, that's just a given. And that's one thing that I want to come at you on a daily basis. Am I perfect at this? No. Am I going to go through more in life? Of course. We're going through this thing called the pandemic. And one thing that I also want to express to you is this: it's not just about me. A lot of you are looking at, okay, it's about her, it's about you, it's about her, it's about her. No, you have to look within yourself and figure out what are the bad things that are going on in your life. It's not about me, it's about bringing a message to the world that is hurting. And the one thing I'm not seeing in therapist offices is this: authentic counseling. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, a good counselor, I think, in my opinion, is someone who truly goes over and beyond. Say, for instance, if I mention something like leaky gut, the counselor will go and do that research for me and say, okay, this is what we can do. Or the counselor can actually go on pubmed.com and do some of the research for me. Now, I know that's research for me to do, and I'm doing that myself, but that'll make it a good uh, going the extra mile, is what I'm trying to say, is what I'm trying to look at. And once again, I mean, if you cause controversy on this channel, that's okay. I mean, I don't expect to agree with everything that you agree with me with, okay? And I'm not doing this because I want to be perfect or because I want to make myself known. No, I'm doing this for a purpose of getting a message out to a hurting world. Um, I realize I'm thinking about some of the famous actors and actresses that have gone on beyond us, and unfortunately, I mean, we can't stop an individual. You can't. But you can truly look from others and look at their mistakes and their consequences. I really want you to look at my mistakes and my consequences and what it is that I've gone through so that you can learn from it. Not for you to point fingers at me and say, okay, look at her, let me laugh at her. I mean, I know some of you are probably laughing at me because I use a lot of crutch words and I'm not obviously a good speaker, or whatever the case, whatever the drama might be. I'm imperfect. I've said that before, and I want to say that again. And I want to remind you of that again, okay? Once again, this is Lori and Shebah Baby. And Shebah Baby, she's having a great time with me, watching me on YouTube. And just want to say much love, much passion to you. And I will see you in my next post.